So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Like the ass building?
The guy, he was.
Yeah,
what's
the
that
guy.
doing? Is he gonna jump? Is he gonna jump? No, he's up there surveying to build a new ass building.
There were two things he could have been doing. He was either stealing a tripod or he was making measurements for the left cheek.
I first assumed he was going to jump off the building. Then I assumed he stole that. He parked downstairs, walked up to the top, and stole the tripod. You assumed he was setting up he was surveying for the new ass building.
Yeah, it's right next to the Fiesta.
And the Mexican consulate.
Yeah, it's
on
much better
than
much better than the old ass building down by the docks.
If he would have jumped, that would have been so wild. Like, he's going to jump. Oh shit, he jumped!
Like, oh man, that's no good. Poor guy. It's ass building construction. It's too much for some people.
Come here! Let's go, give me a flipper!
And it's Amateur Hour, episode, I don't know, somewhere in the 50s. We're actually here at 97.5 in Houston, talking to Raheel, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm doing so well so far. It's the best I've ever done.
You were going to try to say my last name?
Ramzanali.
You got it, yeah.
I rehearsed in the car. It started with Rasputin, and then it went to Ramzanali, and then Ramzanali. So I'm getting way better.
Hey, at least as long as you attempt it, I'm good. People always get worried about that, like, oh, I don't want to mispronounce your last name. It's all right. It's not a big deal.
Yours and Dell.
Yeah, Del Olale. Try spelling that one.
Olale?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I've worked with them for 10 years now. Like, I've known him I've worked with him on and off for 10 years, and I have trouble spelling his last name. It's really easy. Is it Olale? See, even I think
Perfect.
that's right. I think that's right. Who knows?
I believe you, no matter what I believe.
Don't fact check me. Yeah.
Well, for anyone who cares, I'm Cody, and Troy's, of course, here.
Hey.
So we're here with Raheel, and we were going to talk about flag football and just kind of whatever else.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on, first of all, man. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate letting you use this awesome room and these mics and stuff. We usually record at like a basement somewhere or a parking lot. Salvation
this isn't
Army.
any better, to be honest with you. we got the worst studio of all of it. Like, we have some cool studios here. This one is the last studio you want to be in. So I think your studio would be honestly better than this.
Our studio does have more alcohol, I think. But I'll go ahead and ask you, Raheel. You know, you've been doing the radio for a long time, right? Why don't you tell us how all that started? How you got into the radio business?
Yeah, man. So my senior year of high school, like many high schoolers out there that have failed athletic dreams, I wasn't going to play basketball for Texas. I was never going to play football anywhere because I quit the football team after 10th grade. I realized that I'm not going to be a pro athlete. So it was a lot of, what am I going to do in my life, right? So my brother at the time was graduating from the University of Texas at Austin, and he was applying for dental school, and he actually got accepted to dental school here in Houston. So I said, well, because he's going to be a dentist, maybe I should be a dentist.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to do business. I didn't want to do math. I didn't want to do science or anything. And I was like, this isn't it for me. So I went for an interview for a scholarship, and at that interview, they're like, what do you want to do when you graduate college? And I said, I want to be a dentist. And I gave a bullshit answer. Am I allowed to curse on this one?
Ahead,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
you can say anything you want.
All right, perfect. So I gave a bullshit answer, and sure enough, the people, you know, the panel that was picking the scholarship, they're like, they knew me because it was a local scholarship. They're like, dude, that's not what you want to do.
Right.
Right? Like, they told me, like, that's not what you want to do. Be honest. Think about what you want to do. And it came down to me loving radio so much. I was like, why can't I do what I love so much? I want to do radio. I want to do sports TV. I watch SportsCenter all the time. I listen to Jim Rome.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I started researching it and found out that UT, the only school I wanted to go to, has a really good communications program. So I applied for that. I didn't get in my freshman year. I got capped, which is you go to UTSA for a year, and then you reapply, and if you have a good GPA, you're guaranteed admissions. So I did that, and initially I wanted to do TV. That was my thing. Like I wanted to do sports TV.
Yeah.
And then I tried that out in college, part of the student TV station, and I hated that. I was like, this sucks. You work all day for 2 minutes.
Right.
So
and
then, yeah, like
on radio, you can just sit here and talk all day, right?
That's it. Like you just get to get on radio and bullshit. So that, one thing led to another. I got really lucky out of college. I got a gig here in Houston out the gate. I still have friends from my class that are still grinding it out in top 50 markets trying to get that break. So one thing led to another, and here I am doing the podcast with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do realize this would be the pinnacle of almost anybody's career. Jim Rome has been trying to get on our show for years.
Hey, man, you got to shut down the big ones,
Dan Patrick, too.
Dan Patrick, he emails us constantly. So you said when you were a kid, you really liked sports radio and, watching sports on TV. What sports radio did you get into at first? Like, whose show did you like?
So I loved John and Lance. I used to listen to them, Rich Lord, Mark Vandermeer, those guys. But it was Jim Rome. Jim Rome was, I couldn't believe that was a radio show. He was so straightforward at the time. It was so new.
Right.
And that was my first sports radio experience. But I grew up listening to 97.9 The Box, with like a lot of kids my age. There was a local Pakistani radio station that my dad used to listen to on the weekends. So this station, what these people would do, they would buy time on an AM station and then do their own programming. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. I used to listen to that, prank call them. I used to mess around with them. 104 KRB, I used to prank call all these stations. I would listen to radio literally all night long. I loved radio.
Yeah.
I just loved it, and I still love it. I listen to radio all the time.
There's something different than the TV. Like it's fun. Like
it's more loose. It's loose. You, right? You don't have to wear a suit. Yeah. I wear joggers to work.
And I don't know why you decided to do this naked, but I mean it's fun this way too. I mean
you're gonna show off the new bulking body.
You are lifting after this, right?
I am going to go lift after this.
With being in Houston is amazingly diverse city, and we know that, but sports radio is not really diverse. It is it's growing as a more diverse. But what's it like being Pakistani and being in the sports radio?
It's different, man. I'm thankful and I'm lucky that I had people that wanted to take a chance on me, right? Because I say this to kids all the time. I'm not the most talented guy. I'm not the smartest guy. I don't love sports as much as other radio hosts do. Like, I love basketball. I love playing flag football. I love playing basketball. But if you said, hey, sports is out of your life, if you can't watch it, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll go watch something else. I would get pissed if somebody said you can't play sports again. We'll get to that in a bit. But it's different, man, because there are a lot of talented people out there, and it is a group of listeners. So this is where the cycle starts, right? So in the demographics of sports radio, there's a lot of white males, 35 to 54, that listen, and they decide a lot. Yeah, like you too. That's why I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So you keep listening. No. But it's a group. It's not a diverse audience as well, right? So if you're a sports programming director, you get a big job in Houston, and now you have to pick the lineup. Are you going to take a risk, or are you going to tailor to the audience and hope that it's status quo, right? So I understand, like, there's a lot of PDs that don't take this risk of, hey, are we going to forget a black guy, right? A Pakistani kid, right? Like, that's what I am. I'm almost 35. I'm not a kid anymore, but in the eyes of a listener who's a white male, maybe 55, maybe 60, they're going, who's this Pakistani kid? So it's different, but I've been lucky in my career, like out of college, Chance McClain, John Granado, these guys, when they started 1560 the game, they're like, whatever. We don't care what ethnicity you are. You're just talented. So they took a shot, and then once you get a shot from there, you guys know this in sports, once you get that opportunity, don't blow it. Like, you got to take advantage of the opportunity. So it's very different, very different.
Now, you mentioned 1560 the game, and I did some YouTube research last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I saw several of your videos on YouTube. There was one video from when I guess you were working at the game that I found especially hilarious.
Which one was it?
It was a video where you guys were in an office, and some poor man was forced to watch a certain video that people were watching on the internet a long time ago.
2 girls, 1 cup.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Yep.
And this guy, I could tell he just wanted to fall out of his skin suit and like somewhere crawl off, but he was caught in this like horrible, like, okay, if I react too much, I can't do that, so I have to react some, but I don't want to seem excited by all this.
Yeah, it's.
What was his name?
So there was a couple. Was it Scott Atkinson on that one, or was it John Harris?
I think it was Scott.
Scott Atkinson, great PGA official. He's a PGA pro. Was at a bunch of golf clubs, and I think he's still very much involved. I've texted him, and he doesn't text me back now.
Well, there you
Scott's
go.
a great dude.
Troy never texts me back.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Not
No, it's okay.
No.
My phone has 1 million contacts, 0 messages.
So yeah, like back in 2007, 2008, 2 Girls, 1 Cup. If you kids, if you're listening to this, do not Google it. And by do not Google, I mean Google it. And welcome to the next part of your life.
Yeah, it's a real eye opener. It's a backstage pass to the adult world. Don't worry, everybody does it. It's completely natural. These are all.
So like 2007 sports radio was so different because it was like sports, maybe some guy talk, and even if you had guy talk, it was almost like, hey, 2 minutes, that's it. 1560 game was different in that we're like, no, guess what? Like, if us 3 were hanging out, my natural personality would be like, dude, you guys got to watch this.
Right.
So we did a lot of that, like, hey, it's okay to be us and talk about it on air. Back in 2007, people would lose their mind. They did lose their minds when I would bring up Cup Chicks. That was the video name.
Cup Chicks.
Like, I got in trouble for it, right? But now, if there's an internet trend that involves that, guess what? Like 80% of the shows are talking about it because it's whatever now. It's so different. But yeah, we used to mess around so much at that station. It was so much fun. It was actually in the same building.
And that's what I noticed about at least the 97.5 listener is so different from the AM radio listener. I think you found the market, and it's not a niche market. It's a large market that y'all have hit, and it's what people want to talk about. It's what they want to listen to. People love John and Lance and you and Dale, and going all the way through to AJ and Fred at the end of the day. It's like, I mean, it's all day. It's not the same topics It may be the same topics, but each one of y'all hit it a different way and have fun with everything. And that's what y'all found a way to make everybody excited about listening to radio.
I think this lineup is, most of us are really interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's not just sports. Right. And I'm also lucky that, so my career went like this, right? So out of college, 1560 the game for about 4.5 years. I got burned out on radio. I was the youngest guy there. I wasn't making any money, so I was like, I'm done here. I'm going to go do something else. I went and worked in a 9-to-5 setting and did social media. So like, this is when social media was first launching as a management side. So I would manage some accounts for local accounts, and eventually I got to Landry's and was doing that as a 9-to-5. I got burned out from a 9-to-5. But what I learned, and the reason I'm lucky, is I got to experience that for almost 4 years, is that 9-to-5 grind. When you're talking to people, you know how much sports they talk? They'll probably talk Monday Night Football. Yeah. They'll probably talk about the Rockets playoffs, and that's about it. It's just, that's what it is. Nobody talks sports all the time. So I don't get how sports radio stations do it.
No,
like,
and
it's nuts.
You're right about 2007 and earlier than that, because I used to listen to sports radio all the time. And it was a lot of scores, and it was a lot of movement of who was going to play with whom.
Yeah.
But now it's a lot more cultural, when people talk about what LeBron James is into, way more off the court stuff than on the court, which is much more interesting.
Yeah, it is. Like, there's only so many minutes you can spend on breaking down the LeBron-Zion matchup from last night.
Yeah, they're both good basketball players.
Yeah, but isn't it more interesting to talk about, damn, what did LeBron say to Zion?
Absolutely.
Like, what did he say, right?
Yeah.
Or Pat McAfee introducing the Pelicans, right? Like, it's more interesting to talk about that side of stuff because, one, I think we can all relate to it more. Because you might not have picked up on the breakdown and relate to it, right? Like, I might be watching for certain plays, and then when I bring it up, you're like, well, I didn't see that, so what is he talking about, right? So it's different. I think it's just more relatable to do the nonsense as well.
And I've noticed a lot of I talk to people at work, and we'll be talking sports, a lot of Cowboys fans, whatever. Just I'll hear something on the radio during the day that y'all have said, and then I'll hear them repeat it.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard this. Oh, I'm going to say the same thing. So it's funny how you get that information from not just a breakdown of the game and the scores, but the inside stuff that you wouldn't get from just a regular, the rootin' tootin' go Texans for everything.
I know.
So,
it's like nonstop. And again, I still listen to sports radio across the dial. I listen to 790. I'll listen to 610. Because I'm friends with most of them. I want to know what they're talking about, how they're doing their shows. I listen to XM. I listen to podcasts. I'm literally listening all day long. If I'm not watching TV, I have something on listening. I have a podcast on. Even at night, if I'm watching a game, My wife will be on one side of the couch watching on her phone because I get big screen privileges. What's up, breadwinner?
There you go.
Actually, my wife is the breadwinner now.
Okay.
So she'll be on her phone. Oop, hold on. Okay, we're good. So she'll be on her phone watching something. You know, she has her AirPods in. And my setup is I'm watching the game. I have it on TV, of course, and I've got the volume up. But I also have one headphone in listening to a podcast. I'm listening to Rosillo. I'm listening to Joe Rogan's podcast because I still want to know how are people changing. You know,
Right.
That's interesting to me. I love that.
Oh yeah. See,
Yeah,
do
it's
the
like
same-
scouting, right? Like you want to know, like, hey, what's this team going to be doing when we play them?
Yeah.
And it's like we talk about these principles all the time. We say, man, this guy's really good at breaking down film or watching. Tom Brady's elite at it. But then when it comes to our own lives, we're like, I don't want to do it. Why?
Because
You know?
preparation's boring.
Yeah, that's it. It is
You know,
boring.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you. I know that you play flag football.
I do.
What started that? When did you get into flag football?
So it started. So I played 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. I hit puberty. So here's a fun fact. You look at me. What position do you think I played in middle school and high school football?
I feel like you would have probably been a defensive back or maybe
receiver.
a quarterback. Yeah.
A receiver, right?
Yeah.
I played O-line
Perfect. Awesome.
from 6th grade to 9th grade. It was the first. What do they call it in high school? Is it semesters? No, how's it broken down? I forgot.
Like
the
freshman year, sophomore year.
Well, like is like a 6 week.
I
The
know what
first
you're
6
saying.
week,
the
yeah,
first
but
6
whatever.
weeks, I
Like,
don't know
let's go
what they call it.
first
Yeah,
semester, right?
Yeah.
So until 9.5 grade, okay, I was an O lineman. In fact, my freshman year, I played O line. I got on the A team and quickly realized that I'm not good at this. And then I hit puberty. And that's where I got a little bit taller. I got a little bit more athletic, and I started playing wide receiver, cornerback, all that stuff.
Okay.
And then 10th grade, I said, all right, you know what? I don't like football as much. I'm going to go out for the basketball team. So
Right.
then I played basketball my junior year, and then I quit senior year because I was like, I'm not going to. There's 3 guys ahead of me. All three point guards went D1, by the way.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
was like,
of
there's
course.
no way I'm gonna crack any minutes here. So instead of just grinding it out and not focusing on my studies, I was like, I'm gonna go all in on academics. So I quit my senior year. I shouldn't have quit. I wish I would have stayed. But so I played basketball more. Like I love basketball. That's my first passion. That's what helped me assimilate within the culture when I moved here from Pakistan when I was 5. I love basketball.
So you've been playing basketball forever because
Since I was
to
5
me,
years old, yeah.
Basketball as a point guard is not something you can pick up in 6 months. You know,
Nope.
you have to at least have the motor skills to do it.
Yeah.
You
by
gotta
that
have
age.
it, yeah. Like I loved basketball. I still love it. I play once a week. If I don't, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that itch. You know, like
Yeah.
I need to go shoot around, even if
Right.
it's 3-on-3. And now it's a lot more 3-on-3, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Half court games
Yeah,
now
because a
than-
lot of guys my age don't stay in shape, so they don't like playing with me because I'll just run around. I'm like, well, that's not my fault. You guys are out of shape. you
Yeah.
know? Anyways, long story short, so I played basketball growing up, but then in college, and I played football. Like, you know, of course I played football and I know
Right.
how to play it. And I always wanted to be quarterback. And one day in college, so our sports radio team, our sports radio crew, they put together a flag football team. And you guys said it, okay? Look, sports radio is not that diverse.
No,
There's a lot of slow white guys,
I'm
okay?
imagining Dan Patrick running out for a pass thrown by like Colin Cowherd and Jim Rome pulling a flag.
That's actually not bad, right? There's a lot of slow white dudes, okay?
Yeah.
So I get out there, and they're like, man, you're kind of fast. Can you play quarterback for us? And I was like, yeah, I can play quarterback. So it was a lot of running at first. But then as I got better, I started, because, you know, I'm a pretty good thrower now, I feel like. So I started playing in college, and I was like, man, this is so much fun. This is way more fun than basketball at times.
So is that intramural league?
Intramural
Intramural
league,
college?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
It actually started the first time I ever played. I mean, we would play pickup with my high school friends, and we played tackle football back in the day. You know, because
Right.
you're like, oh, you're untouchable when you're in high school. And now I would never play tackle football because I'm so
No.
scared.
Yeah.
But I would play tackle with them. But that was it, you know, just some pickup football, whatever. But then the first game we ever played, it was the student radio TV side against the radio side.
Okay.
And that's when they're like, hey, can you just play quarterback because nobody else can?
Yeah.
So I just started running around. We killed them, of course, because nobody could catch me because, again,
Right,
just imagine
right.
it's a lot of slow white dudes. But that was a lot of like Vince Young stuff, like just run every
Yeah.
time. And it wasn't as fun for other guys. So then I got better at throwing. I played in more leagues. I played in a little bit more competitive intramural leagues, and I sucked at that time. But that's where it started, and ever since then, I've been playing flag football. And when I got back home here in Houston, I still play a lot of basketball. I would play flag football leagues every once in a while. But then one of my friends, Kayam, who in Sugarland is a flag football character now. He's awesome, great dude. He invited me out to come play in the league. Actually, no, it was my brother's friend. Sakib. All right, so this is a South Asian flag football league that just started like 2008. Right, because there's this need for we can go play in other leagues, but we have like 100 guys that want to play South Asian, so let's do a South Asian only league. And my brother's friend, older friend, was like, hey, your younger brother's pretty good. Can we have him out here and he can quarterback? So I quarterbacked a few games for him, whatever. And then they officially put me on a roster for one of their seasons. And then I met my friend Kayam, and then he was like, let's just be honest, what he did. He picked me away from that team. Okay.
We experience that all the time.
Yeah, like he stole their one quarterback away, and I've been running with my team ever since 2009. BFF.
So you guys have been there for a long time.
Dude, yeah, we all know each other. We're literally best friends.
Yeah.
So it's cool, it's fun. And now, like, I can't imagine not playing flag football because it's just so much fun, man. Like, team the trust.
What's the name of y'all's team?
BFF.
BFF. Okay.
Yeah. BFF, best friends forever. And we have a unicorn on our jersey.
Flag footballers.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, we don't take ourselves that seriously.
So you're not playing a character on the radio. That's you in real life and on the radio. I can tell by that. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, like unicorns doing dumb stuff. Yeah, best friends forever. I'll show you a picture of our jersey. We had a game yesterday. And that was my first one out for the season because I've been busy with the Roughnecks.
Yeah.
And
go next.
Yeah, go next. Hey, get that neck. So they, it was so much fun being out there again with everyone, and you get out there. Of course, they're all giving me shit about, oh, you're too famous for us now. I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm just here to play some football. Can I just get an hour and a half of fun here?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I've been playing ever since, man. And I mean, you guys know this being involved in flag football. Basketball is fun, right? Basketball is interesting because it's you, and then you're working with you're working with your team, and it's great. But you can be the star player and not have to work with your team that much. Like, I can go on a basketball team, if I'm the best player, I can control my own destiny.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're on a flag football team, you can't control your own destiny all the time. Like, even a good quarterback that can run, can throw, he's going to need some help at some point.
And if you don't have a quarterback,
you're fine.
You don't win.
Yeah.
If you don't have a quarterback, you don't win.
Yeah, there's no way. So, like, I don't even play I'm probably the 8th best player on this team. Like, it's a pretty stacked team.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun because it teaches you a different side of sports, right? Like, you better be ready for your opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, you're not – like, I can, of course, go play quarterback for a team and have moments and struggle and all that. But when you're the 8th best guy on a team, you're clawing. You're like, okay, this is my moment.
Exactly.
You cannot mess
make
up.
your play.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
With flag football tournaments and stuff. You guys have played in a zillion flag football tournaments and leagues. Okay, some are better than others, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the worst tournament or league you guys ever played in?
I don't remember the name of it. But
of course.
Yeah, I don't remember. There's so many.
Thing,
like it was just a tournament and this one was interesting because they decided to do it in July. All right.
Yep.
With day games.
Yeah.
And like you start digging into it, you go, do you guys play at all? Like, whoever organized, have you guys ever played?
Yeah.
No. Right, like those kind of tournaments where you don't put yourself in the shoes of an athlete that's playing, you go, why in the fuck are we doing games in July during the day? Okay, if you do it at night, it sucks, but at least it's better, right?
Cooler,
and you can make little things better. You can have a tent, with some cooling fans.
Something,
That's
right?
what happened to us. We played in a flag football tournament in Warren, Texas.
Oh,
exactly.
Which is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty diverse team. We have white guys and black guys and whatever else. Well, Warren is sort of like, you hear like dueling banjos out in the distance. Well, they played it in the middle of July, and we played next to the abandoned school that vandals had like torn apart in a pit.
There was a valley behind the field, behind the school that was, it was terrible. The wind was not blowing through. That was so hot.
It was all dust. I bet there's no grass on there.
It was like rock.
Yeah.
So we won, and we were promised shirts.
Oh,
and I'm still Facebook friends with the guy who put on the tournament. This has been 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
And he's like buying a house and a car. I'm like, I want a fucking shirt, dude. And like,
I want my dry fit shirt.
Yeah,
That's right.
So we sweated. What if we had a player die? I mean, no, I'm just joking.
But he came back to life. It was
Yeah,
fun.
he was fine. Okay, so what's the best one you've ever participated in?
So this league that I play in now is called 3CSA, Third Coast Sports Association, and this is the league that I've been a part of since 2009, roughly, where it's South Asians only. And just to see this league transform from, hey, it's only South Asians to, hey, you know what? Like, we have a lot of other friends that want to be part of this from other leagues. So there was a rule of you can have one South Asian.
Okay.
So now it's open up to 2.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, like, to see the evolution of this league. But this league is always on point. Games start on time. It's all managed by players, so it's really cool. And now one of our guys is cutting up highlights for us, and he's doing this in his own time.
Right.
So just to see the evolution of that league and to see that, man, it's been awesome. So I think that's the best one.
So about the league that you guys are in now, referees, do y'all use like
We use
TASO refs, or do y'all just referee your own games?
No, we used to referee our own games,
Right.
but then of course it got so competitive at some point. And you go, all right, we got to bring in some of the refs. So now some of the guys come out. Clarence, the old school ref. I don't know if you guys know him.
I've never met him.
Yeah, he's more like Sugar Land, Houston area, because you guys are totally different side of town
Sure.
now. But yeah, so we bring out the official refs now, which is nice. And you get to know them as well, and they give me shit all the time too, because one of them watched CW. Okay, before I could just go and play and not get shit from the refs as well. But Clarence, my dude, he watches CW 39, and I used to do a sports segment on CW 39 every Friday. And he came up to me and goes, "Are you that guy?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's me." He goes, "Oh, come on, superstar. Now you know I'm going to call you differently." I'm like, "Damn it, Clarence." So he always gives me shit. But it's so cool. You become friends with all these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the numbers just suggest when you play basketball, you become friends. On your team, you got 8 guys, maybe 10 guys, in these like rec league tournaments. But the number, like, that's it. And you might not interact with the other teams. In flag football, there's a lot of downtime, one. And then there's more guys. It's just 11, 12, 13, 14 guys per roster. Yeah. You just make more friends as well. And,
sure.
And the more you play, you get cooler with them,
Yeah, if you suck at basketball, if you're terrible at it, it's not very fun.
No.
And it doesn't get more fun. But like with flag football, we have guys that played in the league for a few years, and they'll go get in shape just to go play flag football. And, there's always, like I said, 13-man roster, 8 people show up to a game, so you get to play.
Yep.
And, a game can hinge on like a bad snap and all this other stuff, so everybody's kind of got a role. So do you see a lot of similarities between flag football and basketball, like as far as the way it's played? Because I've always thought they're similar sports.
They are. So my opinion on this has changed the more I've played. So again, like, I play in a lot of basketball leagues as well, and it depends. So like sometimes I'll play in a 30 and over league where I might be one of the best players. Sometimes I'll play with younger guys where honestly I'm just there like in a 6-man, 7th-man, PJ Tucker kind of role, like get rebounds, don't shoot. So it just depends what you're playing in. But my opinion has changed on this. Like, basketball used to be all about, I'm gonna fucking eat, okay? Because I control my own destiny. Because like when I was younger, I would hold my own on the court, and if my teammates sucked, I didn't give a shit. I was like, hey, you guys suck, okay, but I've put in the work, so I'm gonna take all the shots, and I don't care what you guys say.
I'll score my point.
Right? Like, if I'm working hard, then whatever. Like, you guys aren't, so I'm gonna do what I do. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that that's not how people don't have the time, right? Like, I'm lucky I work in an industry where I'm flexible. I was telling you guys, like, if I don't lift, I gotta be at the gym at 2:30. I know I'm gonna lift. Because if I don't, I won't be able to sleep, right? And I have this luxury of being able to go work out anytime I want. Most people don't have that, right? And like and most people don't have to drive as well sometimes. So as I've gotten older, like now when I play on leagues with older guys, I don't get as mad. And same thing with flag football. I understand when I'm the 8th best player, I understand I'm not going to get the ball every time. But when I do, it's pretty cool. And it's nice to have teammates like, hey, man, keep it up. Let's go. Make an impact somewhere else. So I've used that from what I learned from flag football, being one, the 8th best guy on a team that's really good. Right. And when I play in basketball games now in leagues, I know how to encourage those guys, and I know that, hey, I'm not gonna yell at you every single time. Although I still yell. I only know one person who really yells all that much anymore at flag football.
and that's this person here.
Are you a yeller?
I have.
Oh, come on.
I have-
It's motivation. It's
Yeah.
motivating. It's not yelling. It's motivating.
What
I
about-
want everybody to do well. I'm the first one to congratulate you when you do
Yeah.
something good, though. I may yell at you, but you're gonna get congratulations.
I
from
will.
me,
Now
too.
look, I will. Like if I'm away from the play, and my quarterback yesterday, really talented guy, Siam. He first drive. Okay, march down the field. It's first and goal from the 3. He rolls right, and he just threw an interception to the just one of the worst interceptions, right?
That happened to this team too.
I'm like, what are you? And he still threw for 6 touchdowns yesterday. Okay, like this
Yeah.
dude's awesome, but for whatever he just gets, like lackluster sometimes. So I'm fucking yelling at him
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know him, and I've also known him since he was 20
Yeah.
years old.
And you know
So-
he can take it probably.
Yeah, so like I'm yelling at him, and he knows he messed up and all that. But away from the play, I do give a lot of side eye now. I have to like bite my tongue. In the
Side-eye.
last,
I like side-eye.
Yeah,
It's
I just
pretty
go,
good,
God
yeah.
damn, what are you doing, man? And I'm always open. Like
Oh, yeah.
every
Oh, yeah.
receiver's always open,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like in flag football.
Most of the hour and a half car ride here was Troy commenting on how he was open yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, what
You
about the
saw it.
interception? You saw it. I was
You
open.
saw
You
I was
saw
open.
it. You saw it.
Yeah. I always do that to him. I'm like, dude, I'm open. He goes, yeah, everyone's open.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
That's-
I don't have the time sometimes to throw it to you guys.
Because I've had to play quarterback from time to time, and it's not easy playing quarterback. When you got a
No.
rush coming, you got fast guys. It's not hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy to play quarterback.
No, so yeah, you learn those lessons, and in basketball, in the 30. So I now play in select basketball stuff. I don't go play pickup with people I don't know because I don't want to get injured. I want to play with people I know.
Right.
I want to have a good time. Like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna put out 2 hours of my life where I'm gonna go play basketball, I'm not playing with a bunch of strangers because you might be ball hogging. It's just a mess. So I only go with people I know. I only play in basketball leagues that I know. In this last one I played in, one of my teammates called me Aaron Rodgers because he's like, God, man, like he will just berate you on the court. I'm like, yeah, because I'm giving you a wide open pass here. You got to make
Right.
this, man. So like I had to clean that up about myself. I was like, okay, my bad. You got to take a step back sometimes to go. Again, not everyone's fortunate to have this time to go work out, to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you gotta be careful sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I've witnessed Troy being strangled on a flag football field,
oh gosh.
being punched in
Wasn't
the
my
face,
fault. None of those-
and
I started none of those.
elbowed in the throat one
How
time.
long ago was this fight?
Oh, well, no, they're spaced out over
These are
time.
spaced
Yeah.
out.
These are different
when's the last
incidents.
fight?
But no, I don't fight. Trust me.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I'll be honest.
No, I'm honest. People
Fight me.
people
because of
tend to
my
get
attitude.
angry.
Yeah.
And I think
They
it's
search me out.
been a few years. So I think in 2012, which were you 30 in 2012? No. This was 2014. Yeah, you were.
32,
Yeah.
33,
So he was in his 30s, and he had been talking shit this entire game. Well, there was like a brawl kind of beside where things were happening, and Troy does not participate in any of that. He's not a violent person.
Yeah.
So he's kind of milling around, walking away. And this dude found him. He's like, "Well, it's a good chance," and just starts punching him in the face.
and I felt it coming. I just did. Oh, and they
You
just
just knew
started.
it was about to happen.
And I just started getting because I've set myself up for that. So
Yeah.
I took a few shots, and this guy choked him and got him off of me.
But that's how our league started, because after this, because I got the guy off of him, and then somebody stomped on my head with a cleat.
Oh God.
So we were like, we need to start a league. So we started a league in 2015,
2015,
and then we've been doing that since. But tempers run high in the flag football
and
thing.
rightfully so. But that's exactly it. Like I love that you started the league because of that, because then you want to be able to like, hey, we're gonna invite certain teams to start, like guys
Right.
that are cool, like get it right.
Yeah.
And by get it, I mean, hey, guy playing in flag football league, you're not going to the NFL.
Sure.
You're like
Yeah.
the dream is over.
It's
the
over.
dream is over. I don't care how good you were in high school, how good you were in college football. The dream is over. You're playing in a flag football league.
Well, look, we had Christian Michael just playing last season. Now he's playing for the
XFL,
Hawks now.
yeah.
Yeah. So he was playing. In the
Okay,
league
I
last
retract my
season,
statement. You're not
Well,
playing for the XFL.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
there
are.
But we have guys that have played in the NFL before or wherever come out and play. And they're, of course, awesome. But they still think the dream is alive.
See, that's what I hate.
And-
I hate that, guy, relax. Like, you need to take a chill pill here.
Yeah.
I get shit talk. By the way, I respect you a lot for shit talking. I will take subtle shit talking jabs at people. I can't talk the whole game.
Mine starts off subtle, and then it just gets stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
He
I
gets-
don't even remember what's going on.
He
half
gets
the time.
personal with stuff. He's like, well, I have a better job than you do.
Oh wow.
Like, I have a college degree.
Have I ever said that?
Yeah, what was your SAT score, bitch? Like, what?
Like you may have won the game, but I have insurance.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that? You saw an Obamacare, broke ass. Like that's
right. Like get that government cell phone.
Damn.
No.
Yeah. So like it's like being a part of a league is so cool because we've also seen like yes, games get competitive and they should get competitive, right? This is the only outlet a lot of people have, right? From their 9 to 5. Think about a person that's playing in y'all's league, in the league that I play in. More than likely, they're working a 9 to 5. Okay, if they're married, they probably go home and they're probably stressed out with that. Sometimes they probably get to the gym 3 times a week, if that. Right, and when they do, they're fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And then they have this league. They have this one outlet of competitive nature that you can be yourself. So like you let that out. People that don't play in leagues or play something competitive with some just Saturday morning pickup hoops, running in a marathon, whatever it is, if they're not doing that, I don't know how they survive.
Exactly.
Like, how do you guys?
Well, they're miserable.
Yeah, right. Like, how do you get that
and
outlet?
Yeah.
Sports, you don't have to play sports to do something active with other people. I mean, you could go running a friggin' 5K or whatever. But I know a lot of guys who work, go home, take a shower, go to second job, go home, go to bed, then the cycle repeats.
Yeah.
Plus alcohol and mistresses and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the fun times. That's the sports, But so let's see, basketball and football. Okay, I think that was
one thing we were talking about was like with a lot of people we're from. There are a lot of plant workers, refineries. They'll go get off work and come straight to the field to play. They'll have their Nomex on. They're taking it off, putting on their playing clothes, and going to play because they need that outlet, like you're saying. They want to be there and play. Then they'll go home and deal with whatever. But it's important to people. They really want to play. It's fun.
And that's what I tell everyone, man. Like if I talk to people, they're like, "Man, I'm stressed out at work. I got this and that." I'm like, "Well, what are you doing? First of all, are you going to the gym? Are you using because we as humans, our DNA. I'm reading this book right now called *Sapiens*.
Oh man, I read that book.
Isn't
it
fucking amazing?
Awesome.
Right? Like our DNA is encoded to move. Right? We're hunters and gatherers. We're moving. Society didn't start until we started planting wheat and all that shit, right? All that shit. What's up? Like we're just talking about big level ideas, but we have to move. It's in our DNA. We have to use this body. Our body isn't meant to just go 9 to 5, come home, sit on the couch. That's not what it's meant for, and that's why you get exhausted, you get stressed out.
We're supposed to jog behind deer and stuff until they pass out, then kill it and gut it and eat it. That's what we're supposed to do.
Have you read that book, Born to Run?
No, I haven't read.
So it's about it's an even deeper dive into the running side of the human body. And before that, like my conditioning was play basketball, and this was 2008. My conditioning was play basketball, maybe get on a treadmill, like run a mile, and that's about it. Like, like I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'd rather lift or do something else. And then I read this book, and basically the book said, if you wanted right now, you could run a half marathon.
Sure.
You can do it.
Designed to do.
It's going to hurt, but you can do it. Here's how you get over the pain. And I ran a half marathon. And I trained a little bit, but then I was like, my wife at the time she was my girlfriend. She goes, "You want to run a half marathon?" I was like, "Let's do it." And we trained the week of, and that was it.
That was it.
I
Did she run the whole thing?
Yeah, she ran.
Wow.
She's a runner by nature. So like she's done a full marathon. She thought it would be cool to just do a half marathon with me. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Like to this day, I have an injury from my toenail fell off from that run.
Oh my God.
And it still hasn't grown back.
God.
And then whenever it does, it just falls right off. So
Wow.
I never knew that nipples could bleed until I started running. And I was like, what in the balls?
Exactly. Nobody knows that.
I love to run on a treadmill because it makes me go to certain speeds. So I usually run in a gym. Well, one time I was running, I think I was at like mile 10. This is like a long way for me because I'm kind of a chunky fella.
That's pretty good.
But I'm at mile 10. So I was like, okay, I get my 10-mile run, and I went and saw myself in the mirror, and there were like 2 blood streaks from my nipples going down my shirt. I'm like, what's happened to me? At some point, I was young and virile, and now I'm bleeding out of my nipples.
Bloody nipples, like you're a birthing mother.
Like these women in the gym think I'm so hot. It's old bloody nipple Cody over there.
I didn't know that either until I started doing some splits. I was like, oh, because all it started was, okay, I know I can run a mile on a treadmill. I said, let me see if I can do 2. 2 turned into, let me see if I can do 3.
Yeah.
3 turned into, oh man, I can't wait to do 5 today. 5 turned into, I can't wait to go to Memorial Park because there's hot chicks there.
Yeah.
Back in my single days. And I want to do 2 laps today. That's 6 miles roughly.
Yeah.
So that turned into, I think I can do a half marathon. Let's just do it, right?
Right.
But one of the things I learned when I first started running was It doesn't matter what dry fit you're wearing.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if you're wearing a dry, cotton blend, whatever. Your nipples are gonna hurt. So then I started taping up. And
Yeah,
Vaseline.
tape them. That's the only
You
solution.
gotta put Vaseline first, just on the nippies.
And this guy knows
And then
what
a
he's
big
doing
piece
with
of tape.
nipples.
Do not run a tough mutter without nipping up. Without
Nipping up.
Yeah, you gotta protect the nips, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, man. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any more questions for Raheel before I get into my scripted questions?
I did want to say you were at Texas when they won a national championship. Right?
Rise up. Yep.
What was that like? Just the whole thing, the Vince insanity with it.
It was to truly appreciate it. You had to have been there the year before. Okay, so that was Cedric Benson, Vince Young.
Yep.
That going into that season, it was Cedric Benson's going to win the Heisman. He was a front runner for the Heisman, and I think he still went to the award ceremony. He did it when I think he fourth place.
Yeah. Liner won it that year.
Yeah, that was Liner tier.
Yeah.
That's right. And it was, USC's undefeated. They'll never lose a football game.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of excitement around that team the year before the national championship. Then the Oklahoma weekend happened where they lose 12-0. They couldn't put up a point against a shitty Oklahoma team. Vince Young is overrated at that point. Yep. Hey, what are you going to do? You got to make a position change here. You got to put Chance Mock in more a little bit maybe. What's up, Chance Mock? Shout out to you. Hey, what is happening here? There's no way this team isn't any good. Then they start changing up the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
The zone read, they're like, hey, we can do this a lot more. The zone read starts working. They take off. They win the Michigan Rose Bowl. And it was that's where the excitement started. Was after that Oklahoma game, everyone left the bandwagon. And that's when they started changing up. Greg Davis was like, let's do the zone read more.
Yep.
They got better. The Michigan game, obviously one of the greatest college football games ever. And then when Vince said, we'll be back here, we're like, oh, shit, it's on.
Yep.
Ever since that moment, like, everybody was in. And so every story mattered. Every offseason workout mattered. Summer football mattered. Hey, this guy's doing this. Vince is working on that. And then when the season started, it was awesome. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
You're giving me goosebumps now talking about it. I still
was
remember
like,
it, yeah.
It was a team that knew they were going to win it all.
Yep.
The arrogance from the team, they knew they were the best team in the Big 12. There's no hurdles in the Big 12 at that point. They knew USC's out there. They knew that, and they didn't give a shit.
Yep.
They're like, we got this. You got some younger guys stepping up. Oh, man. It was just that whole season, every game. And then they had the hiccup, Kansas. They're trailing at Kansas. They still win that game. Everything's good. They roll the Big 12 championship game, Colorado. Yep. They put 66 up on them, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the USC game, the build-up to that game, a month leading up, the Heisman snub for Vince Young. And you could tell on his face, that was a moment. Everyone says this. I remember watching that, and when you see Vince's face go like, okay,
yep.
you guys did you see my numbers? I had a fucking great season, and you guys are going to give it to him because he's just on the best team. And look, Reggie had great numbers, but Vince was the Heisman winner.
Did it all, yeah.
And that's when I knew, like, hey, they're winning this game. He's done it before. He knows what a big moment's like. And for him to go through with it, to start Ramon Taylor had the first touchdown where Vince's knees down and he still runs them.
Yep. Selvin scored that one.
Selvin, yeah, that's right. Ramon's had another one.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Ramon's had the second touchdown, I believe. Like, when you see those guys perform against them, you're like, oh, yeah, that USC's just another team. Like, whatever. Yep. You're fine. You have the NFL talent as well. To finally see them do it, man, like, historically, like, cool. I know a lot of Texas grad, like right now, if Texas won a national championship, we've earned it, and I've earned it as a fan.
Yeah.
But to me, it was more like a group of guys that said they're going to do something, and they did it. That was the best part. It was amazing.
That fourth down stop.
Yeah,
that won the game for them
because
they weren't going to stop Vince.
Thank you so much for putting Reggie on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Lindale had been running for like 10 yards every time, so I figured, hey, they're going to do it again.
They're going to do it,
and they smashed him at the line.
They got him.
I knew that was going to be the game right there.
That was it. And then, with a clutch Gene and Vince, man, I've never seen anything like it. And then you see him do it the next year with the Titans when they played Houston in Houston, and you're just like, God, this kid has everything. And then you find out there's a lot of external factors, there's a lot of bullshit that goes on.
And he just got caught up in it. Being professional is different.
Yep. It was amazing, man. That year was, man, I wish I could go back. Like every game.
I still have it. I still watch that game. I have the DVD. I'll go back and watch it on DVD. I'm telling you.
The Ohio State game at Ohio State to start the season. It was game number 2. Like that one came down to the wire.
I still don't think Limas caught that ball. In the
I know
corner,
a lot of people. Limas did. By the way, I played Limas Sweet. Not a good basketball player. Not a good basketball player. Ramon Taylor dunked. He dunked on me so hard one time.
He's one of the best athletes I ever saw.
I thought he could have played in the NBA if he wanted.
Yeah,
that dude's a freak, man.
Yeah, he ended up. Whatever happened to him, but he was one of the best athletes I ever saw out there. So.
And isn't it crazy that Vince Young teaches calculus now?
Yeah. I don't think he can spell calculus.
He didn't do well in his Wonder League.
I'm just joking, Vince.
But he does listen.
Well, good.
Yeah, I hope he does. Listen to
listen to our show.
We'll edit that out. No, I'm joking, Vince.
I can take that out.
Hope you're doing well. No.
Okay, so I have some not sports related questions for you.
All right, let's do it. Scripted questions.
And I've also thought of some while I'm sitting here. So we'll just do this little lighthearted part here.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. First off, it's not even on here. Do you believe in aliens?
Depends. It depends what I'm on that night.
Okay, perfect. Good answer.
This guy believes in no conspiracy theory ever. Nothing.
Skeptical of everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Do you have any superstitions?
Yes.
Okay. What are they?
Okay, so on game days, look, athletes, I have to get dressed a certain way. I have to, warm up a certain way. I have to eat a certain thing. I've got to watch certain things. I got to sit a certain amount of time. I do have a lot of superstitions. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Creature of habit. It's a habit.
I don't know if it's more creature of habit or superstitions.
Yep.
Okay, now it's an election year. Which fictional character would you vote for in a presidential election?
Saul Goodman.
Oh man, I love that answer.
From Better Call Saul.
Saul would get it done.
Saul will bullshit you into becoming the president.
Now, after he's done, there's going to be some cleanup that we're going to have to do.
Yes. They're gonna have to get a Hoover Pro Extract Max, and they're gonna have to get him out of town. But man,
have to clean the White House real well.
Yeah.
What a good answer. I love that. That's awesome.
The reason I said it because I just finally I had the time to catch up on Better Call Saul because it's finally on Netflix too. Because I deleted the last season. I had them all saved, ready to go. My wife deleted them, but I'll say I deleted them because I don't want her to get mad. So it's finally on Netflix, the last season 4. So I finally caught up. That's why it's fresh on my mind. But I would pick him no matter what.
Man, good answer. I like that.
My answer, I know you're not asking me, but would be Prince Oberyn from Game of Thrones.
I love it. Rest in peace.
Oberyn, man.
The saddest I've ever been in that show was when he got killed.
I don't think a TV death has impacted me more.
Yeah, that's the one.
Than our beloved Prince.
Just kill him. Stop talking. Just kill him. All these histrionics. Just kill the guy.
He was like the one good guy in the show.
Yeah.
Right? Who's just like, I'm going to live my life, but I'm going to live it with some morals that are part of the game.
Yep.
Right? When he died, it was like, fuck.
Yep.
I have nobody to root for it. It was almost like
that happened constantly in that show. You're like, well, I guess it's over now.
Like I didn't care about Jon Snow. I didn't give Jon Snow died in the first episode, whatever. I don't care. But my guy I picked, it was like a March Madness pick, right?
Yeah, it was.
You go, damn it.
George Mason.
Yeah, like my team is out now. Ever since that death, I didn't care about Game of Thrones as much.
And it was so brutal, too.
Yeah.
He did not die a pleasant death.
No.
So I've actually changed mine, and these aren't fictional characters, but since my conversation with Troy in the car, and I'll give no backstory to this at all, I'll just tell you that my presidential team that I would vote for is Barry Sanders for president, Garth Brooks vice president. That needs no explanation. So right here I have for you the list of teams that are playing in our league.
Okay.
I would like you to tell us your favorite team name and your least favorite team name.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Fun.
All right, number 1, Loyal Boys. I like that.
With 3 S's.
All right, 3 S's. Number 2, Team Heat. Team Heat is an older team, right? I'm also going to give you a little description. That's a very generic name.
The Loyal Boys are a group of like high school kids.
I was going to say younger team.
They're young, yeah.
They got a running quarterback for sure.
Do they have a quarterback?
They're not very good.
They're not good. Okay, so they're so
it's only
new.
their first. That's their first game ever. So
that's fine.
They're figuring it out.
Number 3, Expendables. This is a pretty good team. Expendables.
That's Troy's team. They're pretty good.
Good
They've
team.
been together for not so long.
Well, I've just now got on this team. This is my first year on this team.
All right. Number 4, Showstoppers. This is a team that always gets to they get pretty hot. They get to the playoffs and lose early.
No, they've actually won several times.
Okay,
they've won several championships.
All right.
They have lost early as of late, so you're right on there.
All right. Number 5, Jack Boys. They're jumping on the current trend of the Travis Scott The Jack Boys. This is a newer team as well.
Actually, they've been together for a long time. They've only been the Jack Boys, though, for the last 2 or 3 years.
Because of Travis Scott.
But they're probably the most athletic team that we've ever had play.
Wow.
They come and play in Houston tournaments
They do?
quite a bit.
Okay.
So.
Number 6, 409 Boys. That's old school. Like I'm
Yes.
true. I'm true to the 409 still.
Yep.
I still. Hey, we were hot for a minute with the songs, and we're still gonna be cool with it. Older team.
Yep.
They've won a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a good profiler
All right.
when it comes to flag football team names.
Number 7.
409's easy to describe.
Yeah, that's an easier one. Number 7, Black Mambas. Okay, rest in peace, Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant. Let's honor him. Let's do a team name based around Kobe. I'm gonna say middle of the pack team.
Probably so.
Yeah, they've got a combination of some good guys, and they're going to be towards the top, I think.
There are
Okay.
a bunch of people who played a long time that have formed this team.
Okay,
So they're like the remnants of a bunch of other teams put together.
I like that. All right, number 8, prime time. This is now every league has a prime time. I just want to say that.
It's like the Bulldogs of flag football.
Yeah, you got to have the prime time. Like I know 3 teams off the top of my head that I've played in leagues, and there's been a prime time there as well.
Pretty nondescript.
Prime
team as
time
well.
reminds me of the color beige.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
What is their
It's-
team color? What jerseys?
Beige.
They were great. They were
Really?
great.
They're
They were wearing
Great
gray
team.
basketball jerseys.
Yeah, they're like, look, I don't have time to think of this team. Just prime time.
Yeah.
Number 9, squad. I like this team. They're kind of ironic. Okay, this is a funny group of guys. Let's
Yeah.
just call our team the squad.
Yeah, they are probably the people who know each other the best.
Yeah.
So I think all of them are friends from forever ago. They're probably in their 30s mostly.
I like that team because that's an ironic name. Let's just call ourselves the
They
squad.
do have one of the guys is probably the best athlete in the entire league on the team. They just don't. They can't win. They don't
Nice.
win. Yeah, but
Number 10, the Valve. This is the group of guys you're talking about. They're at the refinery. Hey,
They work in a
Hey.
valve place.
Yeah, I don't want to. You know what? I don't need flag football gloves, and I've got Carhartt gloves.
Well, their company actually sponsored them, and their company is American Valve.
That's
So
why.
that's why they're called that. But they are well adorned in flag football gear because their company bought them nice jerseys.
Oh,
You know how
look
they-
at that.
You know, if you go to like what's that? Dennis Friel sells really nice jerseys.
You know
or
Dennis?
Woodward. Yeah,
I love
I've talked to
Dennis,
Dennis.
man.
I haven't met him in person. I've talked to him. You know, on the,
Isn't
on the
Dennis
internet.
one of the coolest guys? You follow him on Facebook?
Yeah, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
I met him through. So of course the white football.
Yep.
Yeah,
The white
right?
football.
If you're not using the white football, what's wrong with you? There's almost a
couldn't
backlash to the
catch
white
it.
football. I don't know if you guys have seen this in your league, but there's almost a backlash to the white football now, where people are like, no, let's go back to old school leather.
yeah.
Give me the white football every day. I think it's the best football I've ever held. But because I saw a lot of guys using the white football. I was like, what the fuck is the white football?
Yeah.
I went to the website. I contacted Dennis. I was like, hey, man, I work at ESPN. You should advertise with us. Like, people are using your products out here. And he sent me a bunch of white footballs. He also made me some custom flags. So I have custom
I
flags.
got some from you.
Did you win those?
Yeah, I won
hell
those.
yeah. You still wear them?
No, I still have them, but I don't wear them anymore. But I still have them.
Okay, nice.
We got some custom ones, man.
But yeah, Dennis from Dallas, up in Dallas.
Dennis
Great
is
dude.
a hardworking person.
Dude, I love that.
If he only does as much as he puts on social media, he's constantly at work.
Yeah, that dude is a beast. But yeah, check out the whitefootball.com. It really is a great football.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the strangest sport you've ever played.
Cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah, cricket. So
I don't understand how cricket works.
I don't either. I don't either. I understand it now, but I went back. So I was born in Pakistan. We moved here when I was 5 years old. My family, we picked up like the traditional immigration story, right? Mm-hmm. You left your country that you knew everything. My dad was pretty successful back home, but I think he realized with 3 kids at the time that in order for them to get more, we got to move to America. So packed up everything. My dad knew English. My mom barely spoke English, and now she knows English, but she does not speak it in public. She gets
Right.
embarrassed. I'm like, Mom, it's fine. You can speak English. You know it.
Yeah.
So anyways, we moved here when I was 5. And then, the story, playing basketball, flag football. So I never played cricket. I never knew anything about it. But in college, my dad surprised me with a trip back home to Pakistan for the first time in 16 years, because I was 21 at the time. So we went back. We have family there still. And my uncle, who I love, like, he's the coolest uncle, right? So he's like, let's go play cricket with some of my friends. And I was like, all right, let's go. Here I am thinking, I'm 21. At this point, I'm very athletic.
Right.
I feel like I can do anything I want. Like, whatever. I'm going to go out there and just roll these old guys. And they had to take it easy on me. Cricket, okay? So this is the strangest sport, right? So, of course, I played, who plays rec league softball? All of us do, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. So I'm over here, like the first bowl that I get to pitch, I fucking smash it, right? And I find out they're taking it very easy on me. I fucking smashed the ball, and I threw the bat back, and I got out. So that's the problem. So the whole thing is keeping that wicket on those 3 sticks, that little bar. If that falls, that's an out.
Oh,
so you're done.
Okay.
So here I am going Barry Bonds. I mean, I just fucking whale it. It goes, and I just do a bat flip, and they're like, "Well, you're out, bro." nice
What
work.
sport is this?
Yeah, they're like, "Nice work, show off. You just got yourself a wicket." And I'm like, "Damn it!" So there's my cricket story for you guys.
That's awesome.
That was a story that kind of happened to me. I was went to Southern Arkansas to college, went up there, and me and my roommates we're playing racket. We're finding out how to play racquetball. We went and got some racket. We got all the gear and the equipment. We go down to the church to play racquetball, and we think we're getting pretty good at it. Well, one day, one of the baseball players, I think he was from Ecuador or somewhere, one of the Central American countries, he comes in, and he's just sitting there watching us, and we're like, "Come on, come play. We're gonna show him how to play. We think we're real good." He gets in there, and we can't even hit the ball. He's smashing it all around. We can't even get to it. He's killing us all by himself. Like, we got taught a lesson. Like, we think we're all badass playing this game, and he's just killing. He's so good at it.
The racquetball phase is fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was. But we were like, man, we have no idea what we're doing. But it was just fun seeing him how good people really are at sports like that.
It's just that natural swing.
Yeah,
it's like so much more powerful than anything we will ever have, right? Because that is his natural swing.
Yeah, if
he's a baseball player. I got hit in the eye. In college, like the racquetball phase, because like, hey, it's there. Let's go try it out. So it was this girl that I was dating at the time. So we would play a lot, and like she got pretty decent. And one time she hit it so hard, and I didn't see it coming. Boom, in my eye, blood vessel popped. Oh, I've never felt that bad. Like, it didn't hurt. Of course, the sting of it, but once a blood vessel pops in your eye, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her because she thought she like destroyed my eye. Got some sympathy points.
Man. Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll skip that question.
Yeah.
What is it? No, don't.
Well, I'll tell it to you. Maybe you'll like it.
I'll go quick.
I can take it out if we don't like it. If you could rename coronavirus, what would you call it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Not Corona, because Corona, the beer is actually suffering.
It's like a good thing.
You don't think an Asian disease when you hear Corona.
No, I'm thinking, hey, let's go to Cabo.
Yeah, like it's a Montezuma's revenge type thing.
Yeah. I would rename it?
I hear Cancun is a nice place to go if you've ever been there.
I love Cancun. It's a little secret, though. Don't tell everybody. I would rename it CD19. Isn't that what the official term is for it? I think it's CD.
COVID-19 or
COVID-19, whatever.
That sounds much more virusy.
Right?
Coronavirus sounds a little friendly.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I can kind of take it easy on Corona, but if it's CD, what's it?
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
That sounds like something
that sounds. I don't want to mess with that.
Like bubonic plague is the best name for a disease.
Yeah, what if bubonic plague was called Papa John's, right? Like,
we'd be like, Papa John's killed a bunch of people. Like, well, they should have used better ingredients. Okay. Now, I know you like shoes. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, I did my YouTube research. That's the most in-depth research I've ever done. What is your favorite shoe ever?
Damn, that's a good one.
And I need to write it down so I can put a picture of it on here. Can I borrow that pen?
Yeah. It's the shit. I don't have one, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
You can give me a few.
Okay, so because each one has a story to me, right?
Okay.
To me, my favorite all-time shoe is the Air Jordan 11 Bread, which re-released this past winter. Okay. It's the patent leather Jordan with the black leather that shines.
Oh, I love those. Those are cool. Yeah.
Everyone's seen it. That one, because that was when I was old enough to appreciate shoes, and my family couldn't afford it. Yeah. Like, there's no way we're getting Jordans, right?
Right.
I didn't get my first pair of Jordans until I was in the 10th grade, and even then, it wasn't an Air Jordan. It was like it was a Swingman, which was their cheaper line of Jordans. Yeah. So, it's the Air Jordan 11. Bread. Yeah, it has to be that color. And I finally got a pair this past winter. I got my daughter a pair. I got my brother a pair.
It's almost like it's an investment. It feels like an investment.
Yeah, and I wear mine. I wear them. Yeah. I try to wear as much as I can. But now I also got a pair of the Jordan 1, the original Jordan 1 Spider-Man ones.
Jordan 1 Spider-Man ones.
The ones that are in the Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, Spider-Verse movie. And the reason I like that one is because that was the first comic book movie I went and watched with my daughter.
Yeah.
And one of the big parts of that was the Jordan 1. Like, they used it. There was a special release. And my daughter goes, I want those shoes. So I had to pull some strings because we watched it a little bit later. So, like, it was already sold out.
Yeah.
So I had to pull a bunch of strings and hit up some favors. And luckily, I got a pair for her and a pair for me.
Awesome.
And like, she loves those shoes. And I love, like, that was her first shoe that she loves, right? And like, I have to share it with her. So
well, shoes have become like the new baseball cards or stamps or coins or whatever that people collect. I mean, it's like a huge thing now.
It's a huge,
and Jordan will go forever because different colorways and every
That's it.
edition, every colorway.
And each one
forever,
means a little bit, right? Like Jordan they release colors every week, but I don't have a story with them. But every once in a while they'll release something where I'm like, oh shit, that's I want that, or I might see somebody wearing it. I go, that looks really good. Yeah. They're releasing a Longhorn pair for March Madness.
I saw some. Who else?
I tweeted that. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the Corona? Yeah. Or what was it? The shoe.
Oh, Corona's also doing. Yeah, that's the official shoe, official beer now of Texas Athletics, and they're doing a customized one. But Jordan, the Jordan 1 is being released in a Longhorn March Madness colorway.
Good.
Hopefully they make the tournament.
$6,000.
Yeah, I think they'll make the tournament.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'll tell you my favorite. Sure. Jason Kidd's. When I was in I was 12 or 13 years old, there were these blue shoes with these giant blue
the turquoise like the
bubble looking thing on the bottom of them. I just thought they were the coolest thing ever. I thought they were so cool that I think I still wore a kid size, but I begged my grandparents to buy me the adult size because you got one extra bubble.
Yeah.
It's very important to me.
Oh, so you're talking about the first one. Okay, I know I thought you were talking about the one that did it have a shiny like turquoise piece on it?
It had a shiny round oval on the heel.
Yeah, yeah.
And it went kind of smaller bubbles. As
Yeah.
I just thought those were the coolest things.
I remember those. Those are. What's yours?
The two that I remember the most are the Dion Nikes, the ones that kind of had like the paint stripes on them. I don't remember what they were called, but I remember. And then the Sean Kemp Rain Man, the Reeboks, that green, that
greenish.
Oh God, those are so
the
good.
commercial. I believe that was the one with the commercial where he's just dunking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
those two shoes. I never got them. I was like, I loved them. People had them. I'm like, I gotta have those shoes. But yeah, those were.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I never, like a lot of people be like, oh, why you waste money on shoes? Or if I see some, like a kid, I'm like, you guys don't understand. If you're an athlete and you grew up, I don't know how you guys grew up, but we were like lower middle class, right? And we had 4 kids. So once we moved over, my parents had our youngest sister as well. We call her Accident. And that's what it was. Like, Accident Ramzanali. That's what she was. Like, why would an immigrant family with no money have a 4th kid when you're already struggling to provide for 3? But shout out to my parents. I mean, they did a great job. My dad's been in his current business now for almost 30 years. My mom is awesome, right? But they made it work for us, right?
Yeah.
But we couldn't afford those kind of shoes. There's no way.
I think it means more though to people like us that grew up, because we're all kind of middle class people, and I was lower middle class. But like stuff like that is like really cool.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
you see your favorite players wearing them.
Yep.
Either cleats or basketball shoes. You see them and you're like, that's what I want to do. I want to wear. If I wear those, maybe I'll get.
Yeah, maybe I'll play like that.
And then you play on that nostalgia as you get older too. So.
What cleats are you guys playing in right now?
I've got some Nike Vapors.
Gotta go
TDs,
Vapor.
Yeah. I like Nike. Nike's my favorite cleat. I've worn others, but Nike's always make the best cleats. So
the last pair I bought were a pair of Jordan cleats actually.
Ooh.
And because these were going to be the last pair I ever bought, because I have actually stopped playing now. I just go out there and help video games and stuff. But they were Jordan cleats, kind of with like the leather and then like a white Jumpman on them. I just thought they were the coolest things ever. I still have them. If I were going to play now, I'd still use those.
You still wear the Jordan. I like it.
But yeah, what do you wear?
I'm wearing I'm wearing some Super Bads.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, my brother got some. He's a season ticket holder for UT football. What's up, dentist money? So he's always at the games, and they sell stuff from last season. So they sell cleats, like player cleats.
Yeah.
That that weren't used, and he found some size 11 burnt orange Super Bads.
Awesome.
And those are the coolest cleats. I wore those. I for the longest time I didn't wear them because they were so beautiful. I was like, I can't. I don't want to ruin these. Right?
These are like a gift.
Yeah, like these are beautiful cleats. But then I finally wore them. I played in a Reliant charity game or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'll go wear.
Scored the game winner too.
Yeah, so like I was like, I'm gonna wear them in that because it's indoors. It's fine. And now once you get used to that good life, You know,
Can't go back, man.
You can't go back to the poor cleats. You know,
Exactly,
like I
yeah.
want lunar lawn. I want that nice comfort, man.
It's like, have you ever seen Arrested Development?
Mhm.
It's like that, man. You just can't go back.
Can't go back, man.
Okay, I have one more question
Yeah.
for you, and it's kind of a two-parter. So, who do you think is the most perfect athlete of all time? And the first part would be only on the field, so only playing stuff.
Okay.
And the second part is you can include off-the-field stuff.
Man, any sport?
Any sport, just the most perfect athlete. Like if you're going to point to somebody and say, that guy just did it the very best.
He's not the most perfect in terms of like when you look for an athlete, like
Mm-hmm.
he looks a certain way, but Tom Brady would be the
Yeah, I agree.
perfect athlete, right? Because I would put Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, right? These
Mm-hmm.
are all the greats, but there's one thing in common. You can make an argument that Jordan, when he came in, that he was supposed to be what he ended up being,
Right.
but not necessarily.
Correct.
Right? Was he the number one overall pick?
Nope.
Nope. Right? Was he one of the highly regarded guards? Yes. But even then, there was a bunch of Jordans that came
Sure.
through. Kobe. The Lakers loved him, but nobody else did. Why
Right.
did he drop? Tom Brady, 6th rounder. We know that. These guys that have one thing in common is they don't settle for, all right, I guess I'm not supposed to be the greatest. No, they work their asses off.
Right.
And-
Preparation.
Tom Brady is the most prepared quarterback. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. Kobe, same thing. Would watch film. Would work on his game. Michael Jordan, after he got his natural ability, made him one of the best scorers in the early part of his career. Then he got his ass kicked by the Pistons continuously. You know what he did? Rebuilt himself.
Yep.
Got with Phil Grover, right? No, hold on. Tim Grover. Started rebuilding his body. Became a beast. Took his game to the next level.
Right.
The second three-peat, Jordan was like, you know what? I can't drive as much. I'm getting older. Let's perfect the fadeaway. Something that's really good already, let's perfect it where it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Kobe, same thing. First part of his career, I can drive in anytime I want. I can score as much as I want. Let's focus on the defense. Let's become the best defender. Let's shut down Allen Iverson in the finals.
Yeah.
Even though he still averaged 36 and a half. What's up, Allen Iverson? I love you. Those kind of guys, to me, are the perfect athlete because they don't settle. They're not like T-Mac, right? T-Mac's like, oh, I'm just the best. I can just kind of coast. No, like these guys will always take the next step no matter where they're in their career.
Yeah.
So of those three, the greatest ever, even including off the field stuff, there's pros and cons. Jordan, I love Jordan. I'm always going to be a brand Jordan guy.
Yeah.
He's not it. To me, it's Tom Brady.
Okay.
I think what he's done off the field, on the field, with the endorsements, everything, it's just there's nobody else like him.
I think if you had a little kid and you were telling this little kid who was a prodigy or whatever how to behave, even, on the field stuff, you're going to be good at it and you're going to prepare or whatever. But like off the field, I think Brady does that the best.
Brady does a great job of
He
it.
doesn't say a whole lot of words, but the words he says are good. They're positive. He doesn't get bogged down in a lot of things,
And he loves the process still, which is
Oh, yeah.
awesome, right? Like that's so cool. You win that many Super Bowl rings, you have all those skins on the wall, and you still love it. That's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
unbelievable.
Kobe was, of course, the stuff that happened in Denver, we have to talk about it. That was a big part of what made Kobe good the second part of his career.
It was. And I've done a lot of thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that changed him for the better.
Yep.
I don't know, of course. None of us were in the hotel room or anything like that. But judging from what he said, he did take accountability for whatever he did. And I think he changed. I think Kobe became a better person. I think he became a better player, really, because of a lot of that stuff. I think it refocused him.
It did. You're right. And then, to see the second part of Kobe's life, the post-basketball, how much he loved his, being there with his daughter, being part of that process. Rest in peace. It sucks that he's gone and Gigi's gone and the 7 others. But the lesson learned from that, I don't know about you guys. For me, I have a daughter, and I was already focused on her. I'd go work out with her. But it made me 100 times more committed to, hey, every Monday we're going to go work on soccer. Every Thursday we're going to work on this. Just, I saw Kobe do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of silly, but that's what, as athletes, you go, somebody you look up to, you go, he was doing it, I'm going to do it too.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
I
maybe that's
yelled
a
at my
positive.
son only 7 times this Sunday when I was trying to, do stuff. By the way, our new videographer at the flag football field is my son.
Nice.
He's
I like it. Make him work.
Because his mom doesn't work anymore.
And my
with
mom
us.
doesn't video
She-
games anymore.
Oh,
I'm going to just switch to that topic. My answer to that question is Griffey Jr.
Yeah, curfew.
Because he had all the hype,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived up to the hype. Injuries is what got him.
Overcame adversity.
Yeah.
Though. But even when
Yeah.
he was injured, you never heard him like, "Oh man, woe is me."
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
injuries. No, he just kept grinding.
And went through the steroid era without even being an implication. No one
Never.
even questioned him. So I think he's that one guy on and off, because off the field you never heard him. You don't hear much about baseball players off the field anyway. But he was never. He was always, well, that's Griffey Jr. That was it. He was just the guy, like the prettiest swing in baseball, and played center field unlike anybody
like
else.
to be a prodigy.
And to play with your dad
Yeah,
in the
that's
pros,
incredible.
like that's a lot to live up to. Who your dad's a legend too, and then you have to play
That's
with
it.
him. And
think about how many
Yeah.
great athletes have sons that are playing the same sport that actually make it.
yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
not the Jordans.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely not.
Hopefully we'll see LeBron's kid, Bronny Jr. make it. That would be awesome to see LeBron and Bronny on the same team in the NBA. That'd be crazy, right? But it's rare, and Griffey did it with so much class too. I think.
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
he never took it for granted. It was awesome. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's who I think is. When I see him play, I was like, to me, he was the best. He would be the best if he wouldn't have had all those injuries late.
Yeah.
He would have been the best of all time.
Still the prettiest swing.
Oh, I love
God,
it. Love
his
it.
swing.
It was such a pretty swing. It's a picture on his shoe. I mean,
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I mean, that's his logo. Is his swing. Like,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Well, Troy, do you have anything else for Raheel?
No, man. I just appreciate you taking out the time. I mean, this has been awesome. You're one of the guys in radio that when I listen to you, you get the joke. I think that's because you understand what's going. You understand what people want to hear, and it's not all serious. Like everybody's sports takes have to be serious. Y'all don't take it serious, and I think you get that and you understand it. You, Dale, and everybody understand that.
Thanks,
so.
man. That's always been my thing. Is like I look, you guys. If certain things broke a certain way for you, you could be in my position, right?
Exactly,
I got
yeah.
lucky. I know. I'm lucky as hell. I count my blessings every day, and I don't take myself too seriously. There's some times where I catch myself. I'm like, shut up, dude. You're fucking doing sports radio. Relax, Raheel. Everything is okay. So,
Right.
and hosting XFL Roughnecks games.
That's right.
What's up?
I
XFLRoughnecks.com.
like it. Yeah, we'll get those tickets from you later. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I love that you guys are doing a league out there. I love that you guys are like, hey, let's get the athletes involved locally, because you might, I don't know if you guys hear stories from your leagues or not, but I'm sure the guys that meet up once a week and they're texting each other. They're part of a group me or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The friendships that are made because of you guys, you can't even count that, man. Like it's unreal. So thank you for doing what you guys are doing, man. It's
we
cool.
love it. We love doing it. And before we go, why don't you tell us how they can listen to you and websites or whatever other stuff you got going on?
Absolutely, man. I'm on Instagram, Raheel Doing Things. It's a fan account that somebody runs for me. It's just me. I just needed a way to stand out on Instagram. So follow me on Raheel Doing Things. You can listen to me on ESPN 97.5 weekdays 9 to 11. Especially if you're in the Beaumont area, we're crystal clear there.
We get you solid there.
If you're in the Loop, you probably can't hear us, but Beaumont, we got you.
We got you, yeah.
9 to 11 a.m. Then on Twitter at @the_Raheel, THE_Raheel. Tweet me. I try to respond to every single tweet. And thank you, man. Thank you once again.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Amateur Hour here. I hope you guys really enjoyed our interview with Raheel. He's a really good dude, and we appreciated him talking to us.
Yeah, thank you again, Raheel. It was very awesome. We appreciate that, taking the time to do that for us, and just good information. I mean, just good insight into, a professional in his job and what it takes to get there, what it took to get there, and how you continue on. So I like that.
Yeah, and in case you're all wondering, I'm back in my element. I'm at a brewery. We're at 8th Wonder in Houston. I'm drinking the Cloud 8 Hazy IPA, which is delicious. Troy, what do you have there?
I'm drinking the Cougar Paw Red Ale after I had the Dome Foam Cream Ale.
Oh, well, excellent.
Yeah.
That sounds tasty and delicious.
Yes.
So, we will go ahead and give you guys a Week 1 recap. And someone just whistled at me, and that's okay. I'm used to that sort of attention. I mean, when you're wearing a thong out in public, what do you expect?
Well, Raheel did the interview naked with us, so
He sure did.
he's proud of his body.
Yeah.
Got some good abs. Anyway,
He's a handsome man.
yeah, great head of hair. So, week 1, Troy, the very first game out of the gates for Spring League MMXX was the Valve taking on the Loyal Boys. The Valve ended up winning 26-0. What do you remember about that football game?
The Valve coming back this spring. They seem to play every spring, so came back with their team, and the Loyal Boys, a new team, looked like a bunch of younger guys. I don't know if they were high school age, but they were a young team trying to figure this game out, not really knowing all the rules. We had to kind of set up before the game, trying to tell them what the rules were, how to play the game, and you can tell they're still learning, don't have a lot of knowledge of flag football. The Valve won 26-0. Just
It's a team that's played and a team that hasn't played, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Valve had a ton of players too.
Looks like they have some new guys that are pretty athletic.
Yeah, and one guy looked like he was a coach. I don't know if. Well, he was
there you
out
go.
there. So, but yeah,
I may be a coach one day.
Yeah, so 26-0 win for the Valve over the Loyal Boys.
Okay, game 2, the 12 p.m. game. The Black Mambas took on the 409 Boys, and the Black Mambas ended up winning that one 32-12.
Yeah, at halftime it was 12-12. I decided to go grab some lunch, and I come back and it was 32-12. Black Mambas were on top. So I don't really know what happened. I haven't seen it, so I'm assuming there may have been some turnovers, or the Black Mambas just drove up and down the field, and they obviously held the 409 Boys scoreless in the second half. So
Right, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bruce Reyes is playing quarterback for the 409 Boys, and J.C. Doucette is the quarterback for the Mambas now, right?
yes,
Okay, so it's kind of, a lot of teams moving around, a lot of players moving around. To me, that game is not really much of an indication of who's going to be better as the league goes on, because they're all going to have to get used to playing with their new guys. I think I like both those teams. I think they both have a bunch of talent, but it's switching from JC to Bruce for the 409 Boys. Bruce playing quarterback the whole time is different, and the Black Mambas are a totally new, I guess, amalgamation of flag football people. So we'll see how that works out.
And the more we said Black Mambas yesterday, it started to turn into Black Mamas. And I really think I like Black Mamas better as a team name than Black Mambas.
Yeah, if you guys could change your names to Black Mamas, we'd really like that.
That would be the best flag football team name of all time. So just putting that out there, Black Mamas.
Okay,
All right.
So the third game of the day, the 1 p.m. game, the Squad took on Primetime. Primetime won 24-12, and is Primetime sort of the new version of the Outlaws?
It's Outlaws, Hitmen, all those kind of guys. Well, I mean, I guess I saw a few people out there I did recognize, some new guys I wasn't quite familiar with, but they just made more plays than the Squad did. The Squad had a few plays that looked good. I think
it seemed closer than what the score was.
Yeah. I think those are two pretty evenly matched teams. I really do. But Primetime just took advantage, had a few more scores there, and won the game 24-12.
Well, there you go. And also the Squad, like we've said for 5 years now, they need a quarterback. They just need a quarterback. Quarterback would make them do much better.
They hit one deep ball, I think, towards the end of the first half to Willie Valera in the middle of the end zone, deep ball, and it was a fantastic ball. It was just like it arched right over the top of all the DBs, hitting right in the arms, right in the end zone. It was a beautiful play, and I was like, man, they've really improved. I was thinking that, like, that's something they wouldn't have completed in the past.
Yeah.
And they did, and I was thinking, well, maybe they're picking it, and then it just never grew from that.
It's hard to be consistent, because, you play quarterback a little bit.
It's very hard.
And you know that every now and then you get a ball that you throw that's perfect,
Yeah.
But just doing it every single play, especially when you're in duress and it's confusing and you're throwing kind of one of those 50-50 balls, it just has to be perfect. So I think they just need a quarterback. I think if they had a quarterback, they'd be in the top 2 or 3 teams in the league.
Yeah.
All right, so the 2 p.m. game was a good game. Expendables played the Jack Boys. Jack Boys ended up winning that one 29-26. Troy, you played in that game.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
It really came down to the Jack Boys stopped the Expendables twice, and the Expendables only stopped the Jack Boys once.
Mm-hmm.
And we missed. I'm on the Expendables. The Expendables. We missed a couple of extra points that would have changed the score a little bit. and getting down inside the 5 and having an interception inside the 5, and then having another turnover right after we made a turnover against the Jack Boys, and they scored on that. So just little plays here and there. I think those are two very competitive teams. I still think Jack Boys are probably the best team, but the Expendables are improving with every game we go out there and play. So I think I'd say the best team, and then another team in the top 4, I think, and from how I saw that game.
I agree with that. I think the difference in that game was Andrew Allen, who was quarterback for the Expendables, assumed people were more open than they were a few times, because the ball he threw, this happened on every interception he threw. The ball he threw was perfect for the person who was going to catch it, but it hung in the air too long, and people on defense took advantage of it.
And go ahead.
Well, and the Expendables, the Jack Boys understood that they were shorthanded.
They only had 7, so I will say that the Jack Boys did only have 7 on the field.
They understood that, so they held the ball. They waited for the clock to tick down before every snap. They took what was given to them. They didn't do anything real outrageous or take any big chances. They relied on their athletes to make moves, get around people, and score touchdowns. They didn't do anything real wild.
Yeah, and what you're saying about the quarterback throwing the ball to guys that looked open, he knew that. As soon as we came back off the sideline, he said those exact words. He was open, but he wasn't as open as I thought. When he threw it, they made breaks on plays. So he's understanding that. He's learning the game. He knows.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I'm going to learn from that mistake now. I know how to throw I need to throw it harder. I need to not make that throw. So he learned in that moment. So I think that's a big learning experience. You learn more in your losses than your wins, and I think he learned a lot from that game.
I think if he added in a look off and then put some more velocity on it, which I know he can. I've seen the man throw.
Yeah.
He throw the ball hard. If he looked them off for one more second and then put a little bit more on it, I don't think they would have been intercepted.
Or he could just throw the ball to Troy every play.
I'm always open. I know you're always open.
I'm always open.
Yeah.
Just ask me.
I believe you. Somebody just lost at Jenga.
James is open all the time, too.
You know what? I think when
James.
the thing falls in Jenga, you should be the winner.
You want to make it fall.
Yeah.
I can't see the computer screen at all.
What kind of game only has one loser? That's bullcrap. Jenga has it all wrong.
Well, there'd only be one winner. It's one winner and one loser.
Well, if you're playing one-on-one Jenga, but I haven't done that since me and Aunt Donnice hung out at her house with her cats.
Since you played Find the Teacup and the bed sheet with Aunt Sophia.
Yeah, with Aunt Sophia.
Everybody's a winner in that game.
Well, sure. Even if you don't find the teacup, you still get to drink the tea. Anyway.
And you get to touch Aunt Sophia.
Yes, and her mole. The last game of the day was...
It's not a visible mole. It's under her clothing.
Ugh.
Last game of the day.
The last game of the day was the Showstoppers playing Team Heat. The only interesting thing, Showstoppers won, by the way, 47-6. The only interesting thing of that is Team Heat has, Blake Dugas's team, the Storm. They couldn't stay together, so
they're basically the Black Mambas now.
Yeah, they're basically a lot of the Black Mambas. So Blake is now playing with that team, and they have some good pieces. Blake is a good athlete. He's way different than he's a different person to try to pull his flag. Blake Dugas, I'm talking about. He's a different person to try to pull his flag, and he contributes. I think Gary Joseph is a good athlete, and he contributes, and he can do a lot of things. The man trains really hard. I mean, if he only works out when he's on Facebook, he works out a lot. But he's very athletic. They're new together, though. These people are new together, and they don't have any continuity yet. I think what they need is probably a real quarterback that can really throw the ball. I mean, you can see the difference in the Expendables. If Andrew Allen's there and he's throwing the ball, they're a different team than if somebody's not a real quarterback. And it's no embarrassment on anybody to not be a quarterback. I mean, Troy, are you a quarterback?
No, of course not.
You're a great athlete, dude. You're one of the fastest
runner.
people I've seen, and you have good field vision and you understand the game really well. But does that ever translate into being an excellent quarterback?
I've only won one game I've ever played quarterback, and I've played double-digit games at quarterback.
Right. You can over-athlete people every now and then if you play a garbage team as a good athlete quarterback. When we had our team, when we were the Herd, and Granger would show up and play quarterback, if we played a crappy team, we can win those games because he could just out-athlete them and get the ball to you and other people, and he didn't bite off more than he could chew. But you just can't beat good teams without a quarterback. You just can't. It's impossible. You can see that with the showstoppers. If they don't have one of their guys that can play quarterback show up, they can't win. It's damn near impossible.
And they're going to have a little trouble this year. Jake Dilts probably won't play too many games of quarterback for them by what I hear. So there are going to be some games where they're probably going to have some trouble without a full-on quarterback.
So if you guys are starting a team like Loyal Boys or the Valve or the Squad, or the Team Heat or whatever, you have your new team or your old team. If you're not doing well and you don't have a good quarterback, don't feel too bad for yourselves. You just don't have one of those people in the world that was blessed with an ability to play flag football quarterback. But do yourself a favor and look for them. Put it on Facebook. We have this we have this group called Southeast Texas Flag Football League Players. Put it out there. Tell them we want a quarterback. Come audition. Go try to find people to play quarterback. There are people out there, I promise, but you have to be humble enough to go, I can't play quarterback, and we just don't have one. Just because you're not the quarterback doesn't mean you don't have to be the leader of the team. Robert Gerard's the leader of the Expendables, right?
Yes.
I've seen him throw.
He would not put himself in quarterback spot.
He can't play quarterback. The leader of the team is rarely from what I've seen, the quarterback. Usually it's somebody who's more of a role player and selfless. It's hard to do. But if you can find yourself a guy who can play quarterback, get him, cultivate him, don't let him go, and just work with him. They're going to throw interceptions. It'll be okay. Don't give up on them, though. That's my quarterback speech.
And get you some guys that will rush the quarterback. That was the difference in that game, I think, also. The rush for the showstoppers got to the quarterback, got to Gary Joseph, who was playing quarterback for the Team Heat, got to him so quick. He was running around backwards. He ran backwards 20, 30 yards sometimes to try to get away from him. And even if you're a good quarterback, if you have a rush, it turns you into a mediocre quarterback. It really does.
Yeah, if you have lightning fast people
that get on you, that make you get the ball out quick, that makes covering a lot easier. If a quarterback has time to move around or to stand there and throw, it's hard to cover people for that long. So if you have a rush that gets to the quarterback, it makes a good quarterback very mediocre. So get you a rush like in that game. They killed him with a rush.
And Troy and I may do a segment on this one day, but if we were going to engineer a flag football team, I think Troy and I would both agree, you start with your quarterback. Your next thing you need, though, is a good rush. You have to have people rush the quarterback. You just can't do it
because nobody wants to do it to begin with.
Nope.
But when you get guys that like D'Anthony and that guy for the showstoppers, Hernandez, whatever his.
Cody Rodriguez.
He's back. Cody was back, so he's a good rusher. He's always been a good rusher.
Yeah, and he's not. You don't have to be blazing fast.
No.
You just have to be persistent.
Yeah,
and you have to be in shape.
Like with the herd. Aaron and Ryan Long were an amazing rush tandem because they knew where to be. It's not about just being fast or even. It's just about keeping the quarterback in certain spots. If he likes to roll out, keep him in the pocket. If he likes to sit and come upfield, make him roll out.
Just making him
knowing what to do. When me and Granger used to rush 20 years ago, whatever, we killed quarterbacks because we could get to him and make him do what he didn't want to do.
And y'all were smart football players, and you're like, the main idea here is to make him uncomfortable, to make him do stuff he's not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because like every quarterback has some weaknesses. Dilts does not like it when you blitz somebody up the middle. I know that. We've done it to him. He bloops it up or he throws it to that blocking back. That's what he does. If you blitz Tone, if he doesn't have his first read, he usually gets sacked. Everybody has their things that they just don't like to do. Certain quarterbacks don't like to roll out to the right or the left. It's just, make them uncomfortable. You have to actually do some thinking.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes.
It is hard. It's the hardest position to play, quarterback.
But, so that's my spiel on quarterbacking in week 1. Do you have anything else there, Troy, to close us out?
No, I think it was a very good week. I think everything ran pretty smoothly. You saw the good teams make good plays. You saw the other teams on the losing end trying to make plays. I don't think anything was really out. There were 2 blowout scores, but I don't think that's just indicative of week 1 of a team learning to play against 2 teams that have played before. So I don't think anything. I don't want people to get discouraged from losing games, especially if you haven't played before. Don't get discouraged.
It's a long season. Don't get yourself a forfeit in the first part of the season.
Yeah, you're going to play a lot of games. You're going to have a lot of chances to make plays, to pull flags, to get first downs, to get touchdowns. Just every time you go out there, you got a chance to make a play and win a game. So don't get discouraged from a week 1 loss. And I would also say don't get too high from a week 1 win because, hey, I mean, every week is different. You got to show up with your guys and make those plays. So, because you know that you may have shown up with 12 people today or Sunday. Next Sunday you may only show up with 6. So you got to keep your emotions, keep them level.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have for this show, and I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Raheel. If y'all have somebody that you want us to try to get on the show that's like a Houston area, or if you want to be on the show, let us know. We like to do interviews with people. We love more content, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday.
Can't wait. Thanks for also for Eighth Wonder for letting us sit here and drink and talk and drink.
Yes.
Love it.
Have a wonderful day. See you Sunday.
Good luck.